man, compliment of the season to all sports fans outside there. Yeah, 2024. Here we come. We are glad to be here once again, and we believe and hope that it's going to be a pleasant year for all sports fans as well as every other person that shows interest in sporting activities. We love you for being there. Yeah, 2023. It was a nice one. Seeing people giving support to sports development in Ekiti State. I will say a big thank you to the management of the Broadcasting Service of Ekiti State. The Sports Award was a big one, and of course we want to believe that year 2024 will be a better one. It's going to be bigger this time around. Year 2024, some sporting activities we hold for the January to February, or let's say between January and part of February, the African Cup of Nations we hold. That is what we are hoping for to say for the first quarter of the year 2024. We've talked about players invited to the Super Eagles camp, and we want to believe very soon they will be departing Nigeria. Of course, we have opportunity to be there in Côte d'Ivoire, where they are expected to prosecute their matches for the African Cup of Nations. Our plea this time around is to start the year well by giving us the African Cup of Nations a trophy. That is the clarion call for the Super Eagles. Don't forget that it's going to be a pleasant moment. See Nigeria winning the title once again. It was in 2013 that we had opportunity to win the title last, when the late Stephen Keshi had privilege to lead. Of course, he was able to take them there to South Africa, and that was when we were able to celebrate the title. Don't forget, before then it was in 1994, and so long it has been. For over 10 years now, we've not been able to lift the title, and that is why we are saying, come the early February, we want to see our own darling team, the Super Eagles, to go out there to make us proud. Your expectations this year, that is what we shall be looking at, and I know very soon Chief Deji Shama will be coming on board to tell us his own expectation, his dream about sporting activities in Ekiti State, where Nigeria should be when it comes to sporting events. And don't forget, we want to see where we will find ourselves at the end of the year 2024. It was a pleasant one seeing Victor Osimhen winning the African Football Player for the year 2023. It was a dream come true again for our own goalkeeper Chiamaka, who emerged as the best goalkeeper for Africa in the year 2023. And Asisat Oshoala again was able to prove to the world that when it comes to football in Africa, you can rule out Nigeria. And Nigeria as well, Super Falcons coming out as the best female team in the year 2023. All this came as a way of celebrating our giant of Africa, Nigeria, as a darling nation. That, like we have said, if we are able to pick the title, that is the clarion call now for Pesero to go out there to give us the best. We want the quality players who will prosecute the matches, and of course to make us proud. Like I've said, your expectation this year 2024, your dream as well. And for those who so much show interest in foreign football, we will talk about what will take place even when the African Cup of Nations will move ahead. And the club side now, what will take place, let's put it that way, because some may likely drop points. For those who rely on African players, by the time they go out there really to prosecute matches for their own darling countries, then they are likely to have vacant places where they may not be able to fix it. And that's why some clubs are saying by the time some African players move away to participate in the African Cup of Nations, then they are likely to increase their own points. 08065 22 6145 is the number to call this morning. Your expectation for the year 2024 in the world of sports, that is what we shall be looking at. And don't forget that as we are celebrating the new year, of course some teams will be in action later today. And don't forget that we will still talk about the English Premier League, because it's a big one and matches are expected to be decided today. Don't forget that Liverpool will be in action, West Ham will be in action as well, where Liverpool will be playing host to Newcastle. West Ham will take on Brighton FC. 08065226145 is the number to call. We are expecting you to give us your expectation for the year 2024. Yes, while Liverpool will be in action today against Newcastle, we will see West Ham playing against Brighton tomorrow, and that will be another strong one because both sides will be working towards increasing their points on the table. For matches decided yesterday, don't forget that for some of these players, it was a nice moment. We saw Nottingham Forest playing against Manchester United. That was at the weekend, but then it was a big time for Nottingham Forest, who had opportunity to beat Manchester United. But don't forget that Fulham played yesterday against Arsenal. Arsenal had to bow to Fulham again. 2-1 it ended in a match decided in 90 minutes of play. Fulham at home, Arsenal the visitors, and that was what some people are saying, that is as if their strength has started failing them. For Arsenal, where we thought they should be able to go out there at least to pick a point, to go back or to pick the 3 maximum points, towards brightening their chance of going back to the table, but then they bowed. But don't forget that Liverpool once again, who will be in action, may likely increase their points on the table. Yes, in 19 matches, Liverpool topping with 42 points, the same point with Aston Villa. Aston Villa has been in a hot position this season. Aston Villa has played a total of 20 games with 42 points. For Manchester City, who have moved to the 3rd position, we find Manchester City there, 3rd on the log with 40 points in 19 matches. For Arsenal, they are currently 4th on the table with 40 points in 20 games. Don't forget, we have said it earlier on, that if the management of Arsenal must work towards improving their points or getting the title at the end of it all, they must go out for a strong striker. And that was when soccer fans were trying to admonish the management of Arsenal to go out there for Victor Osimhen. Now Arteta should be able to understand better why some were calling on the management to bid for a strong striker who will be out there to do what? To cause or to give the magic that they were expecting. Kylian Mbappe also will be the player that some clubs will be willing to get during the open transfer window. For Mbappe, it has been a nice moment, and of course the future of Kylian Mbappe and his protracted courtship with Real Madrid is expected to be the key team of the transfer window that opens on Monday. Arsenal search for a proven goal scorer to spearhead their challenge for our first Premier League title since 2004 could also come back to main light. Don't forget that it was in 2004 that we saw Arsenal winning the title last. But for Manchester City, of course, they too will be going out there to bid for another strong player. Or they may allow Kevin Phillips to leave the club. Kevin Phillips may likely leave Manchester City. And don't forget that while some are trying to move on, some will be trying to look for other strong players. And that's why we said the window will be opening, and we want to see a club going out there to pick teams that may likely do them well. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Chief Deji Shamo online. Chief, good morning once again and compliment of the season.
Good morning, Oluwasola. Good morning, Ekiti. Happy New Year to all.
Yeah.
This year will be a blessing to everyone.
Yes, thank you, Chief. That is our prayer, really, because we know it's going to be a pleasant year anyway. But like we have said, we want to see year 2024. Year 2023, like I've said, of course, Victor Osimhen had to come on board, Chiamaka, as well as Asisa to Shala, as well as our female team, the Super Falcons, to allow us to help us to have something to celebrate towards the end of 2023 by winning the various awards. But let's see year 2024, Chief Deji Shamo, your expectations.
Thank you very much. That's a big one. First of all, I want to commend our able governor, His Excellency, Theodore Ibanji. He gave me something this morning, and for everybody in Ekiti State. In his broadcast, he said we are going to have an indoor sports hall. That's going to go a long way. Going to take care of about 16 sports with the building of that indoor sports hall, and to go a long way to provide facilities for all these sporting activities and for a lot of people in Ekiti State. And 2024, the new thing that will be coming is the Nations Cup in Côte d'Ivoire, and we are working towards it in the sense that a lot of people have been contributing in ensuring that we have quality representation in that particular competition. It's long overdue for us to win that cup. And like you said, we have the best of the best in Africa coming from Nigeria, and we should be able to go there and ensure that we ensure victory and carry the cup for the fourth time. So, Oluwasola, you see, sport is something that can bring wealth. Sport is something that can bring a lot of things for individuals and teams. And we have to look towards it to ensure that Ekiti will take the necessary position in Nigeria and also in Africa. Do not forget that at the time, the fastest man in Africa, Fashuba, came from Ekiti. And then the fastest woman, the lady from Christ School, Damola Oshayomi, in Africa too, from Ekiti. So we have to reenact that to ensure that we bring up at least, we harness them and ensure that we train them to victory and win the race for Ekiti State. I'm so glad that the governor is interested in this trend, in this particular thing, that we have to go ahead and ensure that Ekiti is being represented, and Ekiti, our name, will be up there in the sporting world. Thank you.
Yes, Chief, let's look at it again. We would still talk about our own Super Eagles, because Olise was saying that the duo of Calvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi should be able to help the team during the African Cup of Nations that will commence on January 12th. Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassey, their contribution. Don't forget, they've been part of the 25-man squad released by Apesero.
Well, at any point in time, the problem that we're going to have is about selection. We have quality players who are doing well in their respective clubs all over the world. But my fear now is that yesterday I think Iheanacho had an injury. And this is one of those players that we are relying upon to ensure that we have quality representation and outing in Côte d'Ivoire. Well, it now remains with the technical crew of the Super Eagles to ensure that we have people who are playing in their respective clubs, people who have the mentality of winning, and people who should be able to carry Nigeria to ensure that at least we get to the finals of that Nations Cup. But the problem there is that we're not having it right in terms of selection of players, and that the NFF should be able to intervene in this to ensure that we have people, that we have players who are fit, who are playing day in, day out in their clubs, and who have gotten the winning mentality to ensure that Nigeria will have to go out there, because our group stage is a bit dicey in the sense that it's a tough one. We are meeting the host, and we have to just get our things right.
Winning the first game will serve us right.
Of course, yes. It is always the impetus in ensuring that you go forward. When you win your first game, or even possibly you have a draw, you have two other matches to play, so that at least you'll be able to qualify from the first round. That is the first step. So we have to take things as they come. And if we want to be number one in Africa, then we must go out there and beat everybody. My solace lies in Victor Osimhen, who has a broad shoulder to ensure that we score goals, because football is about scoring goals in that particular competition, and ensure that he's gotten the golden boot too, to at least keep those people quiet, to say that he wasn't qualified to be African footballer and so on and so on. So his own contribution to the team will go a long way in putting so many things at rest. Thank you.
All right, let's look at our own league. Don't forget that the problem we had, yes, Pesero was marked for failing to get one of the players in the ongoing Nigerian Premier League. Of course, we must still have somebody who is still topping as the highest goal scorer presently. Why he shunned some of these players going for just the goalkeeper alone caused a little bit of issue among soccer fans. But let's hear you. Is it that the Nigerian Premier League is not good enough, or what do you think we should be able to do, or the organizer should put in place to make the league a better one?
Well, as a sports administrator, one thing is clear, in the sense that if you have good publicity, if you have good scouts that will be able to go out to the nooks and crannies of the country, we have quality players. We have domestic players too, who will be able to fit in to the national team. But in recent cases, those that we watch on TV, those that are in big leagues in Europe and Asia and so on, those ones are being selected to represent the country. This is a good one anyway. Because if you are not good, you can't leave the shores of Nigeria to go and play for a big club like Everton, like Chelsea, and so on. So it depends on the handlers. It depends on NFF to ensure that we put everything in place to discover talents. We have very good goalkeepers in this country, and the goalkeeping department has not been lacking until recently. And we have this coach. And I want to believe that we are not going to forgive them if we fail again in this Nations Cup through the goalkeeping department. So all hands must be on deck, must ensure that we have a quality goalkeeper trainer that will be there. Who's going to select, who's going to recommend for selection the goalkeepers that we are going to use in that competition. And that one too, we will not forgive anybody who is going to man the post for Nigeria if we are going to fail from that particular department. But I'm trusting God and I'm praying that, I was a goalkeeper in my days, and that we should not fail this time around and ensure that we win the trophy.
Let's talk about foreign football this time. Arsenal, Manchester United, they failed during the weekend, and yesterday as well. Fulham beating Arsenal 2-1. Chief, let's look at it. As if Arsenal, that people thought may likely end the season well, may disappoint some of their fans this time around.
Oh, well, it has been a kind of tradition in the sense that Arsenal will just go to the top there, pretending to win the EPL. And it's just like I used to say that they're just like a thriller. When they are on the free, they are moving fast, they are doing all sort of things. But when they get to the hilly terrain, then the speed will slow down, and there'll be a kind of retrogression. But I'm trusting God for them in the sense that they played good football. Apart from my team, Chelsea, who has been down there. Either we are in 12th position, 11th position, or 13th, or whatever. But Arsenal have been top there. They are doing fine with their quality player. I think the coach is going in this January buying players and so on. Is going to do something well to get a central defender that will be able to assist the team to go ahead there. Man United has been a kind of flop. They have been very disappointing, just like Chelsea. Possibly the tide is changing. We have teams, lower teams that are coming up, that are beating everybody. And the most consistent is Man City, who has been doing a very good job. They have the qualities already. They got in a cup, the World Club Cup, and it's a plus for them. So, by and large, we are looking forward to January, whereby things will come up. But majority of your EPL teams, we are going to lose the African players
that is it.
In their need to the Nations Cup.
But
they have been calling it too, to say that Africa CAF should be able to do something for them to ensure that players, they don't lose players to Nations Cup. But what can they do? Just have to go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Deji Shamo. That was one-time General Manager of the Ekiti State Sports Council. We love you for being there. Once again, we say Happy New Year, and it's going to be a pleasant year. Thank you for calling and making your expectations known. Like we have said, it is going to be a dream we have there in Côte d'Ivoire. Events will kick off January 12th, and we hope and believe that we'll have good stories to tell. Don't forget, former Super Eagles player and coach Sunday Olise has suggested the current form of Fulham duo Alex Iwobi and Calvin Bassey is a sign of good things to come for Nigeria at the 2023 AFCON, which kicks off in 12 days' time in Côte d'Ivoire. Iwobi and Bassey, who were both named in Joseph Pessero's 25-man squad for the tournament, steered for Fulham in their hard 4-2-1 victory over Arsenal at Craven Cottage. Don't forget, it was a sound victory. We thought that they may not be able to tame Arsenal, but Arsenal got the opener, and of course they had to come back to equalize and eventually got the winner, despite having a bad start to the game, with Arsenal scoring the opener through Bukayo Saka in the 5th minute of play. Raul Jimenez scored the equalizer for Fulham in the 29th minute before Bobby. Before Bobby got them the winner for Fulham in the 60th minute of play. Olise was quite impressed with the performance of both players, Iwobi and Bassey, and it took to the world that these are players that we must put eyes on because they are likely to go places. According to him, extremely impressed